All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody that's on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram that's watching right now. This is another episode of Humbly Prolific Podcast, and today segment I got specifically tailored to all the pillars in the community, primarily and only the women tonight. Today is the first episode of Madam Mondays. We got a couple people that's supposed to come in later. However, right now we got the queen, Miss Lakeisha Creighton. Go on, tap in, tell them who you is, where you at.
Hola, Miss Casey. I am here in Benson Harbor, Michigan, just tuning in, doing my due diligence for my bro who asked me to be a part of this segment. And yeah, I'm just here. Hey,
And then none other, the queen on the basketball court, one of the ladies who carry that Tiger pride, literally, figuratively, mentally, and spiritually, like nobody else. She dripping sauce all over the court. Y'all know her. Miss JV Swift, go on tap in, tell her who you is, what you into.
Hello, I'm JV Swift, and I'm a player for the Lady Tigers,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just here to spread the energy for the youth.
No, that's right. Say that again. The Lady Tigers. I got before we start off though, I'm gonna give y'all a chance to not just introduce yourself, tell the people y'all should what makes you all like you had both ladies on here. We ain't gonna first, but I'm gonna let JV go first, and I'm gonna let Lakeisha cap it off. So JV, tell them what you went to, tell them some of your interests. You know what I'm saying, what you got to offer, what you've been through. Just tell us your story a little bit.
All right, so basically,
I can't hear you.
I
Cut your mic
love
off,
basketball. Like I'm really in love with the sport. Like
JV.
I don't just do it because I feel like it. I just do it because I love the sport. Like I always grew up on
Yeah, we did
basketball,
lose.
basketball. Like everywhere I went, basketball, basketball. Like my father, he's a basketball player, and my uncle was like, "Since you're a player, let's see if your daughter like she know how to hoop or whatever." Put me on the court, and I've been hooping since. So just been hooping, always been hooping on that court.
Sister
Just gotta have
Angela
them.
Doyle, how you doing?
We can't hear it.
Hey, Miss Angela, we can't hear you. We hear everybody else. We can't hear you though. Oh, we still can't. All right. JV, you said you've been hooping ever since. So how does you playing basketball? How does that translate to your everyday life off the court when you dealing with your daily issues, good or bad?
Like it helps me like mentally, like focus mentally. Like if I ain't got a ball in my hand, I'm just somewhere like feeling down. Like it's like a mentally thing. Like I do it for my mental, keep me like sane, basically.
Mm. So when you don't have the basketball, how you deal with your everyday issues and struggles then?
Uh, my everyday struggles. Like sometimes I go out and spend time with family and stuff like that. Like
Okay, so that's beautiful. You got another healthy outlet instead of just relying solely on the ball because it's off season now. So what that look like outside of hanging with family? Because you know your family ain't gonna always be around you or even be available.
I don't really do much. Like right now we working on like a lot of stuff. Like at first it come with my anger issues. Like I'm working on that before I actually put myself out there to like other people's hands and stuff like that because I had problems with my anger. So I'm working on my anger.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's dope. I can empathize with that. I always did have me a little slight anger issue as well, and that's something that it spent me a long time to get a handle on. So that's that's beautiful that you deal with that self reflection and introspection to deal with that, and you aware of it. So can't nobody really tell you nothing about what you're struggling with because you already know.
Yeah.
Okay, KC, you there?
I am here.
Okay, so now it's on you. Outside of who you are and where you from, where you at right now, give us some of your feedback about who you is. You know what I'm saying? Give us a little backdrop of your story and what you do around town and what you got to offer the young ladies like young JB Swift.
All right. Well, I am Lakeisha Creighton. Everybody that knows me by Casey. The you know me by Miss Casey or Miss Creighton. Um, I haven't always been in this profession. I started out in health.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
All
started
right.
off in the health care field. Did that a whole lot of years. Went down a couple paths that led me to, give up that career and just dabble in other things along that route. I started taking early childhood mental health classes. From there, graduated, got my certificate, and the credentials that I needed to be in that background. I always was a parent liaison for, different things in the community. So I'm not going to say a parent liaison per se, but I was always an involved parent. And that just opened up doors for me, um, that took me down different paths. And that has led me to become an advocate with the job that I currently, work for, or the position that I'm currently in. So I do youth advocacy. But at the same time, years ago, um, I dabbled in, community involvement with a group that my friend created. And we just used to be able to be a place where people can, reach out to somebody, have somebody to talk to. I do a lot behind the scenes, that a lot of people just don't know about. While in Grand Rapids, I worked hand in hand with a youth prevention group for suicide awareness, which is what I got the certificate in. So it's like a hotline. You call, talk to people, see what people are going through. You just coach them. I always say the best experiences is life experiences. And although I'm not an instructor, I can talk to you and tell you a lot about life because I've been there, done that, did that. Couple different paths led me down some roads I didn't want to be in. So that also geared me towards youth advocacy or whatnot. And yeah, I just do what I can do wherever I'm, able to fit in. Wherever I'm needed, I try to step in. Um, I don't do a whole lot that's known, but I do enough, and I'm proud with just that. I don't feel like I got to reach the masses, but a soul here that wouldn't be bad, no matter what. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always say you can't judge a book by its cover, and you don't know what people that went through to help them get through. So, with that being said, you know, you can't judge everybody by what you see. Sometimes it's what they've been through that helped them get over that's going to be beneficial to the next person. And I don't think about nothing that I do as my work. It's all an assignment that I'm being, pushed to do. That's going to lead to the next best assignment, I guess. So I'm just here on assignment.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm glad you're here on assignment because every time I've sent a text message or called you, or you called me or some, or it was any type of exchange, it was always a healthy, positive exchange, and it was always enlightening also. So, me myself, I'm grateful for your contributions, and I can only imagine the countless other people that is as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. So, you mentioned to me before, KC, that you dabbled in communication and broadcasting. Like, why why for not even for me, take me out of it. Like, why is that important for anybody in general, but our youth and our young people specifically? And what's that experience been like?
Okay, well, Yes, I have dibbled and dabbled in broadcast and communication. Growing up, I always had a really, really healthy interest in like television. So at a very, very early age, I started in what was called Kid Witness News. It was a program ran by Mrs. Williams. She was a school teacher at Calvin Britain.
Mm.
Uh, she was one of the very first people to introduce me to a camera. I wasn't so interested on being in front of the camera. I liked the operations part of it. It was just something about being able to hold a camera on your shoulder, zoom in, capture a moment, capture a real moment in time that interests me. From there, growing up, we used to have what was called Channel One News at your different junior highs when you would be in your homeroom. After your first period, it would be this image that came on the TV that was Channel One News, and it was kids that was delivering this news to other schools. It was broadcasted through every school. I went to Fair Plain Junior High, so it was always broadcasted in our homeroom, whether it be the news for the week, what was going on in the school, what we had to look for. What it was just news that the kids was delivering. So by the time I got into high school, you kind of take your elective classes and then you take them extra curriculum. And I had the choice between a few different things, and I end up choosing a course with Mr. Turner, television and broadcasting.
Yes,
And from taking that class with Mr. Turner, it opened me up to a whole different world in media per se. I learned that you didn't have to be in front of the camera to get the big bucks, but it was always the directors, the producers, the credit generators. And then as I grew within school in that field, I took a liking to radio. And it was like, okay, I'm a nervous wreck in front of people because whether people know it or not, I'm a social butterfly, but I really got real bad social anxiety too. And being in front of the camera is, fun and dandy or whatever, but sometimes you just want to get the message across without having the aesthetics of things. So I found that radio was real dope to me. And I used to like go to the radio station when it was down on Wall Street, when the Joker and Freddie Flo and all of them, it used to be ladies and everything up in this basement of this building. And I used to be like, man, like this a little raunchy, but I'm like 16, 17, and I'm like, dang, it's hard to me. Like I really, really want to do this one day. And then as I grew, my personality was always big. I always had a big personality. Like I said, I was a social butterfly. So that always put me in a position to be able to do this and do it naturally. I ended up moving away, coming back to Ben Harbor and linking up with the people and got offered the opportunity to have my own segment. And so I took it and I ran with it. And it was just something that I've always been in love with, that I fell in love with, that I'm still in love with. So as somebody who loves the idea of delivering healthy dialogue to a community, I'll tell any young person that it's so many different revenues and outlets and ways to express your creativity. If you're an artsy person, get into what you love and nurture that. You know what I'm saying? Get into what you love and nurture that, and it can only open up doors for you that you can't open up on your own. And right now, I'm in school for my bachelor's in communication and arts. It's a tough program, but I'm really I'm so in limbo with it. But like my friend just told me, like, and my sister this morning, is only gonna work out for the greater good. Just stick at it because I see the bigger picture. And I just want to, I've been through so much as a human that it's easy for us to get deterred. But if we stay on a path that's meant for us, it's our gifts are going to make way, right? Our gifts are going to make way. And I just feel like television and broadcasting has just always been something I've been in love with And when it comes to our youth and them learning things in that field, it's an A+, and I'm always willing to be here to help anybody out that, whether it's from speaking all the way to your pitch should be, how to create segments, stuff like that. It's just a real dope field to me.
Okay. Okay. Sister Angela Doyle, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, and I can
Oh
speak.
yes, man. Yes.
Greetings,
Glory be to
everybody.
God. I definitely wanted you on here tonight. I hey JB, before I get back to you, Miss Angela, just introduce yourself to the people. Tell them who you are, what you went to. Tell them a little bit of your backstory, and then I'm gonna pass it right back to JB because I got an alley oop for her, and I know she gonna catch it. So
Okay, well, my name is Angela Doyle. Um, I've been living in Benton Harbor. I moved there when I was 2. So I've been in the community. I have 5 children.
mhm.
Um, I'm about the kids. I'm about our community growing and growth and making a better future for these babies. I have a senior in high school now, and it's really important to me, not only her, but all of our kids have an opportunity to have a good experience in school.
Yes, ma'am.
So for that's just my biggest thing. I'm a people's person. I care about people. Yeah, and that's me.
Okay, well, thank you, because you definitely I definitely ran the background check on you. Came real highly recommended. We gonna leave it at that before I get back to you. But I'm definitely glad you
Okay.
came on.
Glad I got this microphone working. If it wasn't for my baby, I wouldn't be talking.
Oh, one thing for sure, the baby's always gonna get you together because the young people been the ones who've been the biggest support to me. I'm only 35, but especially when I be up at the high school, they be so quick to call me old and make me feel like that because I miss a lot. I be lost, but it's definitely I seen one of the babies in the background trying to help you, so I was definitely optimistic about it. I JB, boss lady, what is something that you love that you would do for free if given a chance?
Uh, Something that I could do for free.
Yeah, and you would actually enjoy doing it.
I think like spending time with the little ones. Like I love kids, so if I got if I got a chance to do anything, I spend time with the kids, with younger kids,
Hmm. Why is that?
because it's like some of them like some of them is just like us, and you don't want them to grow up like how we did and stuff like that. Like it's certain things because my grandma I always grew up in a daycare, so I always been around kids like kids with autism, kids with all kind of stuff, and it kind of I kind of warmed up to being around younger people, so it feel good. It feel good to be around younger kids. Like it makes me happy being around them.
Hmm. Okay, that's beautiful. So, if given the opportunity, I'm not gonna say if, when given the opportunity for you to make your contributions on a big enough scale, rather here or somebody else, what would you do to help improve the conditions of the young people?
Uh, Basically, get them advice when they need it, like being around, like making sure that they got what they need or that they understand certain things. Like you don't want to see nobody do the same things that you did, that you done went through, that you had to learn from. Like I'm the type of person that I learn from my mistakes, so I want everybody else to learn from their mistakes, and not just keep continually doing the same thing over and over again. So it's like I don't, I don't really like seeing people like I like being around positivity. So like I like to spread positive stuff to like other people when I can. Like some days I don't be feeling it, and I just be like, no, I'm not feeling it today. So definitely spreading positivity.
Okay, that's beautiful. I like that because you can spread positivity in so many ways. Even something as simple, like I witnessed this personally. Like even something as simple as speaking to somebody or genuinely asking them how you doing today and standing there waiting for the response instead of just speaking like what's up, how you doing, and just walking off before they even get to respond or they responded to your back. And
Mm-hmm.
then even some as big as having a community food giveaway or popping up at the school to have lunch with another younger person, anything. Like positivity has so many wide range of expressions that everybody has a chance to express their individuality. Like I ask you those questions though because outside of this podcast and like me being the mentor, our middle school coach at the middle school here for basketball, and I'm working on expanding my public speaking career as well. I also do like conscious music and anything like that. But everything I do, it has a positive connotation to it. It got to is like positivity and advancement of our young people with the contribution of those of us that's a little older and been around is my main impetus for doing what I'm doing. And
Mm-hmm.
a little about me, like I know you see me at the high school a lot. Like Pastor, I said Pastor, Mr. Morant. I met him when I was 15, living in South Bend, Indiana. I'm from here. I'm from Highland Projects, but we moved to South Bend when I was younger. And Mr. Morant was one of my pastors and one of my earliest basketball coaches that actually was effective with dealing with me. So, long story short, he was one of the positive role models who always made me feel like I had a brighter tomorrow coming. However, whenever I left his presence, I was always hit with the real world circumstance that was living around me in the form of poverty I was living in. And like Miss Creighton see me, I'm always smiling, doing something positive. Like she just got to meet my son last week. Like yesterday, we just did a demolition on the house, and I had like I had 7 boys with me, all 13 and under, 3 of them on the middle school basketball team, and I paid them a portion of my money, took them out to eat, showed them some of the skills with doing demos on houses, and I do that throughout the week, taking a while, whatever. But I say that to say, um, I was one of them teenagers who needed a whole lot more support and guidance than others did. Because I'm the oldest out of 16. My mother got 12 herself. 3 of us done been to prison. Like I'm 35. I did 13 and a half years of the last 16 years in prison. I just got out last year. Like April 16th would be a year I've been home. And I'm getting married next month. Like my son will be 13 in July and he lived with me. Like and I went to prison the first time I was 19. I was out for 2 years and I went back at 23. And I had no idea about what positivity was, what a man looked like, because I'd never seen it. Like outside of Mr. Morant, all I seen was a bunch of poor examples of what men were, honestly. So I went from 2008 to 2024 without seeing Mr. Morant. And when I seen him at the high school, it was at a parent teacher conference. Like I hugged him and it felt like everything was right in the world. Like I be up there, I see how y'all deal with Mr. Morant, JB. You know what I'm saying? Like Mr. Morant dope. And he love y'all. He always been like that. And even though I planned on doing the podcast, he was one of my reasons for following through with it. And it been a real blessing. Like even the title, Humbly Prolific. I do everything with a spirit of humility and empathy. And the prolific part, I was inspired by Mr. Morant, Minister Farrakhan, and as cliche as he may sound, Nipsey Hussle, because although Nipsey Hussle, may Allah rest his soul, was a former gang banger, he was also a rapper, entrepreneur, philanthropist. He did a lot for his community. And I followed him best I could since like 2010, and he got the prolific tattoo on his face, and he always talking about how prolific he is. You know, prolific by definition, it means producing much fruit or many offspring. And I even got a book on Amazon called Prolific Prisoner: Life Inside a Casket. And everything I do, like I said, is try to help make things better for our community. That's why I came home to Ben Harbor and I chose to stay, despite the fact many people tell me there's nothing here. I shouldn't be here. I'm too big for the town and all that. But I'm saying people who tell me that they don't offer any support towards my mission or my vision, so I don't listen to them anyway. But I made tonight about Matter Mondays, and I invited all of y'all specifically because throughout my whole transition in my life, I probably had three men in my life to help me, but it was always the women. It was always women who answered the phone, sent money, collected money, made sure my money was taken care of on the street, who gave me guidance to society. When I come to the schools, it's a couple men that work there, but the women is out in mass. Like they controlling the schools, the libraries, even some down at the police station. And I really had to take the time out to not just give y'all flowers, but also give the world a chance to see y'all how I see y'all. Even Miss Doyle, I had not met you prior to today, but all from what I heard, I felt like it was only right by me to give you an additional platform to actually put your message out as well, because I'm one of the men who feel like women are more important than men, even though men do have a vital role to play in society. Like men had a luxury of being able to put down, walk away, and take a break. Women don't get that same luxury. And all that is the reason why I invited all of y'all on here tonight, because in cohesion with the contributions y'all already made to society and y'all been making to our youth, like it's a whole lot more need to be done. And it's disheartening to me to know that the bulk of the burden is gonna fall on the women and the younger women. You know what I'm saying? So JV, saying all that, what like you a senior in high school, so your perspective on it may not be as broad as KC's or Miss Doyle's, but like in your lifetime, have you seen a shift in like leadership or the shift in vitality as far as importance and roles between men and women?
Uh, Sometimes just a little bit, not really.
Okay. How did that make you feel? Do you feel like it's normal, or do you feel like it should be more involvement?
It should be like more like more. It's not much leadership in the in the surrounding areas, but it's like you gotta outstand everybody. You gotta be a leader yourself, not a follower, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And it's beautiful you say that, because next year you're gonna be going off to college and you're gonna get a whole lot more experience and exposures. And we're gonna need, even though it's unfair to put such pressure on you if you don't want it, but we're gonna need your perspective here and abroad. Like, because the torch always get passed on to us, whether we want it or not. Like once you got a gift or some type of influence or glow about you, people going to draw to you anyway. It's just gonna be all about if you carry the torch or if you're gonna let it fall to the wayside. Miss Doyle, what
Yes,
about
sir.
you? What's your what's some of the stuff you do in the community? That you said you love the kids, you all about the kids. What's
Well,
some of the stuff you do in the community? Like where you at with it? In cohesion
my
with what me and what Miss JV just said.
one of my proudest accomplishments is that I do serve on the board of education, and we have fought some fights to get some things to the school, debt forgiveness, just try to get things in a place where everyone feels safe and secure, and we can actually teach our kids. We have amazing programs that are making big differences, but we need to really double down and focus on those programs and get better so we can deliver that to our children so they can have that better education, a better opportunity to come out in the world and be able to move like everybody else because they're they're able to read and comprehend, you know. Their math is up to par. I feel like um the school systems are failing our children.
Yes,
Point
ma'am.
blank period. That's how I feel. I mean, and if you look at the research, it shows reading is a problem across the US, not
Yes,
just
ma'am.
in Benton Harbor, but across the United States, you know? So if we could take the lead and do some things outside the box for our kids, I think that would be amazing. My baby boy graduated from Benton Harbor High School 2022, and now he's in prison serving 20 to 60. And I'm like, this is crazy. This kid didn't have a record. He didn't have the gun. He didn't do the actual thing. But you got 20 years. But then, you know, there's somebody else done did the same thing. And this young man, not black, but he got what, 2 years, five, or something like that. And it's just, you know, I just feel like when I saw that, and my son came to me, he was 14. He said, Mama, get me out of here. Ain't nothing here. And at that time, I was just like, we gonna be okay. We gonna be okay. But, you know, look at where he is. And it's like, it's so much that could have been done or could have helped. I feel like a lot of our people are suffering from traumas that they don't even know how to heal. So they repeat, these things are repeating, and they're not able to release that stuff and grow. We lost my mom February 2020. My son lost his dad March, and my father September of the same year. And you mean to tell me you can't take that in consideration? And not only did he lose his foundation, a big part of his foundation, he lost several friends from the shooting in our city. You know, it's like, come on, people, you adults, let's get it together. We need to do right for these kids. Everybody needs to stand up. And I mean everybody, aunties, uncles, cousins,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody, because it's going to take all of us to get our kids where they need to be.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's where I am, and I'm really working hard. I've known JV, I know Jada. They are amazing young women. I know Miss Creighton, another amazing young lady. I know all these ladies on these panels, and
Yes,
these
ma'am.
ladies have a lot to give, and I feel like everybody coming together. We need them men too, because we need y'all to do the action
Yes, ma'am.
to get it
Yes, ma'am.
done. So I just I feel like we're in a good place. Even with everything else that's going on, we as a people can come together and take care of our own people. Our children have the answers to all the solutions. You know what I'm saying? If we talk to our kids and give them an opportunity to voice their opinions and their thoughts, they're geniuses. They're amazing. So if we give them that opportunity and just come together and really get 10 toes down, we can do it for our city and our kids.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's beautiful. And I hate to hear about your son too, cause
Hmm.
I was that. I mean, I went to prison both times for armed robbery. Then the second time it was enhanced while I was there because I got caught with a knife. I had conflict with a guy, and
Mhm.
it was real messy. Like it could have got bad, and I was given an extra 2 years to serve while I was in prison. Like I don't. I often ask my mother how it feels me doing all that time. I never asked her while I was in there because I was scared of the response. But when I got home, I asked her, and sometimes she'd start the response and she wouldn't finish it because it's still painful for her to think about.
Mhm.
And I can't even imagine how that feels like to be a black woman in America. And your fear is your child either being a
Yes.
statistic of a casket or a statistic in a
Mhm.
plantation.
And
And
he asked me a question. He he had went with my sister and was doing something with her. He came home, went to the store. Police picked him up, saying that he had jumped on somebody. And when we went through, once all that was over, my son asked me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Mama, how I supposed to live black?"
mm,
I'm
damn.
like, "Huh?" I ain't had no answer for that. I couldn't respond to that
Yeah.
because it's just like, baby.
Mm,
So it's just, and for him to be there now, I almost feel like he's safe, and that's crazy. I feel like he's in a safer place than out here.
yeah. That's not a new thought or feeling I've heard and experienced because I said that about myself and a bunch of other people while I was incarcerated as well. And honestly, as sad as it is, depending on how your son does his time, he may be safer while he in there. Like safer, like as asinine as it may sound, like there's nothing good about prison. Don't take it like that.
Nothing,
There,
nothing.
there's nothing good about prison because the state of Michigan get between $34,000 and $48,000 per prisoner in Michigan, but only 1% of that is spent on education. So,
Isn't that
the,
an imbalance with what we get for kids for school? We
yes,
should be
ma'am.
getting more for school to teach these kids, but it's a setup. They want them to go to prison so they
Yes,
can get
ma'am.
that money.
Yes, ma'am. Because it's 12,053 cents per student average in America. So JV only worth 12,000 a year, but if she go to prison, she worth between 34 and 48,000.
That is crazy.
It is, and I'm gonna inbox you personally my contact information for you to send to your son, and it don't matter what prison he at. Like I know somebody who either at their prison or a part of the National Lifers Association and the Nation of Islam that'll help him with anything he need. Cause I was
Awesome.
a member of the Nation of Islam while I was in prison. I ran two prisons. I was the highest ranking Muslim on the compound in two prisons, and I was a teacher and facilitator of classes dealing with self love, leadership, cognitive skills, and mental and spiritual advancement as well. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah. It won't be no problem. I even give you some phone numbers to some of the brothers' wives so you can talk to them specifically yourself.
Awesome. Awesome.
But Miss Creighton, KC, you there?
I am. I'm here.
All right. Is it you heard the question in the direction that the conversation going in right now? What would you like to add to it or take away, correct anything like that?
Um,
Because yeah, because you
so just
another
to revert back to
yeah,
your original question, just different things. So I grew up in the old Benton Harbor, Michigan, right?
yeah,
Where you've seen the prominent male and female figures in the community. One of my biggest mentors growing up was Miss Pringle. I seen Miss Pringle pick young ladies up, take them places, do things with them, different programs, different organizations, and I always took an interest towards that. So growing up, I may not have had a direct connection to certain things, but I was always a part of, you know what I'm saying? Because I always knew that I wanted to be something, a part of my community that was always bigger than myself. Um, a situation transpired with me um, some years ago that involved police, interaction. Lo and behold, I got the short end of the stick. Things happen, transpired. So I always say that I never want another young lady to go through that. Unfortunately, it happened at a time where we were seeing police brutality everywhere, right? But we also know that if maybe not everyone knows, but 90% of Ben Harbor conviction rate is off plea bargains. And I went into the courthouse with no real lawyers, never have had this type of trouble a day in my life. So my family didn't take the situation seriously. I felt like I needed a team, you know what I'm saying? A team to fight what I was going through. And for what I had been through, I just wanted to be that person that can love on kids the way that I felt like I had people loved on me, because I never wanted to bring that type of shame to my family's name. You know, being involved in that type of action, it does something to your family dynamics, whether people realize it or not, because it's not just the impact on you, but your actions impact your entire family and
Yeah.
those associated with you. So with me never being what I would consider a menace to society, I done did a lot of things in this city that that ain't been always tasteful. But at the same time, I've never disrupted my family's peace to that degree. And I was so embarrassed and ashamed that I always wanted to spread that type of like, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how it should be done. So I meet kids pretty much where they are. Um, just talk to them. You know, you ain't got to be in no big group setting or none of that type stuff. You ain't got to let the world know what you do or how you do it. But as long as you can reach a couple of kids here and there, that's what warms my heart. So I've always been a real involved parent. And even though my daughter say I was a smother mother, I have to re-implement to her that every kid don't got what you got.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And so we have to love on those kids a little bit harder. And I've even said it, you know, in private conversations, that the ones that people look at and be like, ah, that mug, or man, all they do is, or, you know, you hear a kid name ringing so much, you be like, dang. But then them the babies that we got to tap into the most and the hardest to be like, hey, but what's going on? You know, so I've always extended myself in that form. I got kids that I was, you know, at the Boys and Girls Club with when they were in their very early high school years, who literally still reach out to me, Mama Casey. I'm Mama Casey now, you know what I'm saying? And here we are 7, 8 years down the line, and I'm still Mama Casey to them because I took the time to listen. I took the time to be there when everybody else closed the doors in their face. I remember what it felt like being a teenager and feeling isolated sometimes. And, you know, as adults, a lot of people don't reflect on what they've gone through and the traumas that they've overcome. You
Mhm.
know, we talk about these babies now who are experiencing trauma day after day, week after week, weekend after weekend, and it's like a never ending cycle. These babies don't know how to cope with that, deal with that. So they in survival mode. You know, a lot of us remember only being in survival mode. So sometimes when you can take yourself out of certain situations and just meet people where they are, you will learn their stories, you will learn them, you know, as an individual and not group them as a whole. So I've tried to prioritize everybody as an individual and not as a group setting. So, you know, I try to reach out and be that person of reason sometimes. I ain't always reasonable, but sometimes, you know, you gotta take yourself out of the equation and just meet people where they are. So that's who I am. That's what I've done. And I've tried to be the mentor that Miss Pringle was to me, that Miss Weeks was to me, that Miss Williams was to me. I want to be the person Mr. Turner was to me, Mr. Kuran was to me, Mr. Cussy was to me, the Miss McCrees, you know what I'm saying? The Miss Ross Goldens. Like, we need those people back. And if people can stop looking at who they think people are and just understand that it's a bigger aspect of what a person is trying to reach, that's what'll make our community so much better. Just coming together on a different level. And it ain't always gotta be about the antics.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I appreciate that was beautiful too. You say you focus on the individual and look at everybody like, and the adults should do better at remembering what it was like for them growing up as a teenager.
I mean, not even adults, everybody as a whole. You know, I use that term, stop grouping people, because when the situation, you know, and I'm speaking solely from experience, when the situation happened with me, and I was standing over there in their courtroom, by myself. I was grouped. I was grouped. It was those people when I was an individual person that was attacked by an overzealous cop who was over here volunteering, who had no business in our community, but he needed something to do. I was that woman that, and I always say this, like, I feel like God rest her soul, but I really could have been Sandra Bland that night, because when you're dealing with a city that is already separated by skin, and you have officers from different walks of life, they don't see you as an individual. You are individually you are grouped at that point. And that day I was grouped as those people from Benson Harbor, when my name is Lakeisha. You feel me? So I was
Yeah,
put into a situation that I never wanted to see another young person go through. Complying with officers, we can comply as much as we want, but if you have a person that is trying to prove themselves for whatever reason, you are going to be provoked. And I never want to see another baby with a gun pointed at them from someone that's supposed to be public safety. I seen an incident transpire, and I was so shook to my core that I was ready to walk out of my position, because what are we doing? What are we doing? But again, that's a different subject for a different day. So my whole objective is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a big, I'm just one person. I ain't a part of nothing super huge, but whatever I could deliver to the babies, when I could deliver it to them, whether it be 5 minutes of prayer or 2 minutes of conversation. I just want somebody to take something from my story and grow from it, you know?
yeah, no, I definitely understand it because, like you said, your delivery, like everybody got a delivery, and that delivery got to be made. How you do it is up to you, but you got to deliver to somebody. So I definitely, I definitely understand that, and I appreciate that for sharing. 'Cause I feel like my plan and my purpose is in line with yours to a degree. Well, I'm not gonna say to a degree, but it is. And the only reason I say it to a degree because I know I can help an individual, and I do strive to help the individual. But I also go out every day and I try to help as many and reach as many people as possible as well. But the individual is definitely important because one person can change a whole city. One person can change the whole country. And we've seen it being done for the worst the last two times Agent Orange got in office. So I definitely agree with that. And it's interesting too because with so many different outlets and platforms to use, it's so many people vying for the same piece of the pie in regards to communication and broadcast radio stations. Like it's 15,445 radio stations in America, and roughly 220 of them is black owned. But I can only recall ever hearing two black radio stations, radio shows. One of them was Tom Joyner Morning Show, and the other one was Big Boy's Neighborhood. I think Breakfast Club now, so that's three. And it's not too many. It's not too many healthy outlets for our people, and yet alone the young people. It's not enough healthy outlets for them. That's why. That's another reason why I put this panel together, and I made the request to put the panel together. And having young JB on here is so important. Cause JB, do you feel like you and or the peers at the high school or Ben Harbor area schools, period, do you feel disenfranchised or neglected or forgotten about?
Sometimes not, sometimes not really, but sometimes yeah. Like basically, like being on the court, basically, like we don't like the girls don't get as much recognition as like other sports do, really. So it's like we go out there and we play and we try our best, and at the end of the day, it's like we still don't get no recognition for like the stuff that we do. Like it's like most of the time, like the athletic office, they posted like the boys thing or whatever, but ours didn't get posted, and it's just like how y'all post one person thing. Y'all posting all of this stuff, but y'all can't post like at least when the girls' games is and stuff like that. We don't like that's why like most people say like they want to come to our games and stuff, but they really can't because we not getting enough recognition because our games are not getting posted and stuff like that. We not getting noticed for the stuff that we do because we like this year we had 8 seniors on our team and it's like all 8 seniors we had play hard just for we play hard just to not get enough recognition for what we did this year because we was working jobs on the side and trying our best to be at practices and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like we can't do one thing. We got to do what we got to choose at the end of the day because it's like not much stuff for us to do really.
Yeah, I know you're telling the truth because I came to a couple girls' games and I've been at some of y'all practices, and I can honestly say on Facebook and on the Ben Harbor Area School website, I very, very rarely, I've never seen the high school girls anything posted on Facebook, Twitter, I mean TikTok or on Instagram, but I do see the boys heavy all the time, and I actually tried to come in and help with some of that, and even help with the coaching staff for the girls team too, because I seen it and I knew some of y'all felt like that because I spoke to a couple other female players on the team, and two of them is gonna be on the podcast Wednesday night. Lovely gonna be on the podcast and somebody else. I'm trying to get a couple others, but I'm definitely trying to give any kind of effort and push that I can because as messed up as it is to have to deal with a system that's racially biased, sexually biased, religiously biased, and that just reneged on the $40 million payment that was going to benefit Ben Harbor area schools. A lot of times, some of our own biggest obstacles be people that look like us, even in a small town like this where everybody know everybody, and presumably, for a lack of better words, our family or supposed to be. Cause but that JV, that same lack of support that you feel and you experience and you know personally, like outside of y'all not having adequate teachers at y'all schools, outside of the principal not being allowed to hire teachers from Andrews University, like it's not enough Miss Creighton's, it's not enough Miss Lofton's, like the peer mediation don't be accurate enough sometimes. The lunch, from what I hear, is never good. I spend a lot of time delivering food up there, dropping off money to my cousins who go there so they can have something to eat or whatever. It's a lot of things wrong. And I myself personally, I experienced it because I was allowed to volunteer coach for the middle school basketball team. Like I went through the screen in the background and everything, and I was allowed to. But as soon as I spoke up at a school board meeting and I told them that like HR and the school board is failing the people of Ben Harbor, and I, along with a bunch of other parents, don't believe that we getting our money's worth for what we paying for here in Ben Harbor. I even went as far as to quote statistically that the federal government is responsible for 7.7% of the money that come in for the schools. The state provides 46% of it, but the local government, all the way down to the school board, is responsible for 45.5% of that money. And as a result of me speaking up and defending myself, my son, my children, like the other boys and girls who I interact with, and just the people of Ben Harbor in general, it was a bunch of backdoor things done, and instead of me being given equal consideration for a coaching job or even a volunteer security job at the high school so I can help out, and or a volunteer security guard so I can help out at the middle school, somebody from HR and this guy, Superintendent Butts, they had some type of backdoor thing going on with the emails, and they was passing emails around to every school in the district and all the way up to edge staff and telling them that not only was I unfit for the job, that I wasn't allowed to even volunteer in the community, despite the fact that I had credentials and I was able to prove by having them contact my counselor from prison of all my credentials and everything I did that would actually be a help to the youth in the community. And my robbery on my record isn't an automatic disqualification to work in the district. It's just something that's considered. And still to this day, this happened in November. Still to this day, um, I've never been given a reason as to why. I was told I couldn't work for or volunteer in the city at the schools, and I'm working on something to defend myself and get what I'm looking for against the school system. So I got a couple things I'm working on, but long story short, the discrimination I've been getting, I can understand what you feel to a degree personally. Personally, I say to a degree because it's yours personally. But me, however, like it's illegal when I'm able to prove it's illegal. So that's something that I'm working on. But instead of them choosing to be what they proclaim to be to the public and hold themselves or who they know is accountable for the mismanagement of funds and leading to the disenfranchisement of our youth, they chose to lock doors, buckle down, and isolate me and put me out. And this was something that was started in November, but I was still able to finish the whole season coaching for the middle school. But they let me coach a whole year. I mean, the whole season. And then once I spoke up for the people who've been harboring the children, it was a problem, and they tried to make an example out of me. And I don't know. I don't take it personal to the degree that's going to be an obstacle to deter me or discourage me, but I definitely take it personal because instead of them doing the right thing, they lying to the people now on social media and other platforms talking about how much they love the city and they fighting for the city, but these same people are responsible for the degradation that's happening in our city right now, and our youth is going to be the biggest casualties of it. So I want you to know that, like, I'm glad that your senior year almost over, so you can go on to bigger and better things. But I definitely do hate that for you. And only thing I can say is you got to use it for some type of motivation to do something bigger and better for yourself and somebody else, so you can follow in the same line of Miss Angela Doyle and Miss Lakeisha Creighton. Make sure somebody else don't feel and go through the same thing you going through.
Mm. And it's important that, our students know that they are important, their opinions matter.
Mm-hmm.
Come to the school board meetings
Mm-hmm.
and talk and tell your story. It's important because there's a lot of stuff a lot of people don't know that's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
if people are not coming to the meeting saying, hey, this is what we want, this is what we need, we want to try to do this and we want to try to do this, they gonna do what they want to do if they don't hear from you. If
No
they
doubt.
don't hear from the community, if they don't hear from the parents, if they don't hear from the students, if y'all don't come and put it on the table so that everybody know what's going on. That's the important. That's the transparency. That's the part of being transparent. You come and let us know. So then we'll have something to work with. Because if we don't hear nothing, we think it's okay. But you got to know it's not okay, right?
Got to know
But
it's not okay.
you have to come in. You have to use your voice. Your voice needs to be heard. Everybody needs to hear it. Everybody, when you go to them school board meetings, they record it. Those statements are heard, and so you can go back, double back, do what you need to do to get it together to make it happen. You have people at the table that are supportive of the community and the kids, and there's a lot of stuff go on that we don't know about. So it's important to come to the table and let us know what's going on. Otherwise, how are we to know to make the changes and do the things that we need to do? We have to really come together and work together because it's like I said, it's people that care and want to do the right thing. But you have other people that's doing other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we can overcome if we come together.
We can
Yeah.
because they may be in positions of power, but the power lie within the people.
Absolutely. The people are the most powerful. The students are the ones that we serve. These kids deserve the best and they can get it. But we have to come together. We have to come together to make sure we getting it. Some people that you think are, for you may not be for you. You have to sit back and pay attention. Look at them votes, what they voting for, what they doing. And you look at that and then you weigh it out. Okay, well, they is for us or well, they ain't for us. But you got to pay attention. You got to be at those meetings and know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, JB, that's your job. That's your job, and I help you with it, Miss Swift. You understand me? get together 3 or 4 of your friends that don't have a problem with speaking in public, or y'all can write it down and have somebody read it for y'all. Y'all just stand up there with them. I mean, like it's that's my assignment for you, and I'll personally help you with it. I'm gonna bring some high schoolers and some middle schoolers up there. As soon as you get your end together, I'll get it together with
And that would be
Okay.
an amazing move to get some stuff really going.
you. Yeah, JV. So you do that. I'm gonna send you my personal number too, JV, so you can have any type of help and encouragement that you may need, because as you can hear and see, like, we all serious about this, like we are.
Okay.
Yeah. KC, you finna get up out of here in a minute. What,
Yeah, I gotta get ready and go to class in just a second. But I just
what,
wanted to say thank you for having me on. I appreciate the dialogue. I just want to tell JV, Miss Swift, now that I've seen that that's red on camera, I might not be good with names, but I know faces definitely. Baby, I'm so sorry that you felt invincible, especially during your senior year where you're supposed to be your most proudest. So,
yeah,
as not only a mom, who was very involved in my child's sports life, whatever she so choose to do, but as a community spectator, you know, not being able to be everywhere at once. I want to apologize on the behalf of myself, who could have been at multiple games as well, but just couldn't be. So I just want to say, y'all aren't invisible. You are very much seen. As Miss Doyle said, use your voice so you are very much heard. Make some noise and go out your senior year with a bang. DB, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you and all that you do. Keep aspiring to reach as many kids as possible. Miss Doyle, keep doing your thing on the board, and you guys have a great night.
thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Love you too,
Thank
Indeed.
you. You too, Miss Creighton, on purpose.
Miss Doyle.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you for coming in too. 'Cause like I said, you came highly recommended, and your perspective and everything. Not only did I need to hear it, and I was inquisitive about it, I'm glad that young JV got to hear it again, because I know you know her, but hearing this dialogue and this perspective on a platform like this, and the direction that the conversation is going in cohesion with the condition that our children in right now, I feel
Hmm.
like I feel like the message, I feel like it was well received, and she could possibly be a vessel to carry on and make things better.
Yeah. We need that. It's so important. I don't think the kids realize how important they are, how amazing they are, how powerful they
How
are,
powerful they
how
are.
how they can advocate for change themselves. Cause they just as smart. They just as smart. They're geniuses.
Hmm.
They have ideas that can fix a lot of these things, but we just have to listen to them. And I really want them to know how important they are, and their voice is important. So please, please, please come. If you don't like the school lunches, come up there and tell us.
Hmm.
If it's anything you don't like, anything at all, come tell us. Because we won't know if you don't tell us. Your voice is so important and it needs to be heard.
JV, you understand that, Queen?
Yeah, I
JV.
Miss
understand.
Jada can jump on there too.
Hmm. Yeah, because you gotta speak up. You can't let it boil over, and then it come out when you get mad or you feel a certain type of way. If you cut something off while it's small, it'll never have a chance to grow. So you gotta make a habit of doing that. And I say that because I know what it's like to be a part of the problem in the community, and to have to go through a painful transition to sabotage with everything that I knew that was fraudulent and cancerous in my life, to be doing what I'm trying to do today. Even if I don't reach the heights that I want to, I'm gonna always give my all to it. And whether that was putting energy towards hurting somebody who looked like me, hurting the officer while I was locked up, or hurting another person who looked like me while I was locked up, to having to have a painful conversation with myself and see that I really have made no positive contributions to the life that I was given. And I had to make a transition. So I did. And I just put all the energy into doing something positive, even if that means popping up and constantly being at school boards, meetings with you and the other young people, to seeing somebody experiencing some type of injustice at the hands of law enforcement and throwing my body and my life on the line just to help them because I know it's wrong. Like, I'm fearless. And this is one of my expressions of my fearlessness. Like I'm willing to live and die with everything that I love. And I love our youth. I love our future. Like, a lot of people ain't gonna tell you this, JB, but your generation, like 21 and under, will have a higher upside than the prior generations, just for the simple fact that this experience of trauma and struggle and feeling less than and walking around being in survival mode all the time, facing all different type of weird partial depression, like, those who make it through that always come out better. Like, once you get forged in that fire, it's like training camp for basketball. Like, once you get forged in that fire, you always gonna come back better. You're gonna be ambidextrous. Like, won't nobody be able to stop you. So just just keep that in mind, JV. Feel me? Like, you got my inbox. I'm gonna see my personal number and the personal number of a couple other people that may be able to help you with something. But
Can I add just one more thing?
yeah, yeah.
You, when you get ready to come to that board meeting, it ain't got to be no Pacific kind of way.
Mm-mm.
Talk the way you talk, express it the way you need to express it, because you are who you are at this moment, and you coming to us. So it ain't got to be written no special kind of way. It ain't got to be worded no special kind of way. Just be respectful and be who you are and say what you need to say.
Yep, be honest.
You ain't got to, it ain't got to be written up no special kind of way or nothing. I just want to say that. That was it.
Okay.
JB, you got something you want to say before we get up out of here? I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna first off, Miss Angela Doyle, I appreciate you. Like, it's been a blessing. And after this podcast, I'm gonna strive to continue to work with you out here and for your son while he in there. So
Appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. I feel like that's my duty. But young
And I would
Jay,
like to thank you for having me on here, giving me an opportunity to speak and express myself and my opinions and thoughts. Yes, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
you welcome. You welcome. Look, all glory go to God and any type of higher power. Other people calling by His name, but I'm just a vessel delivering the message. So I appreciate you though. Thank you. Well, young JV, what you want to say? The floor yours before we get up out of here. You've been real patient. You've been listening. You've been engaged, and like, this is like the flow yours, and then we're gonna close out. So what you got to say? Want to add to this?
Listening to the stories and what people was saying, what they were saying about the youth and stuff like that, I I felt like we see most of that. Like,
JV. Hey, Miss Dory, I think we lost her.
She was right in the middle. Yeah, it looked like, wait a minute, she might be coming back. Looked like she was right in the middle, what she was saying, and it dropped.
Yeah, it's beautiful though because her perspective is so valuable.
And she's amazing. I'm telling you, I love JV. And a lot of
Yeah,
my daughter played on the played basketball for a couple of years. So I know some of these students, and these kids are amazing. I can't
no,
even say it enough. And they don't get the recognition or the opportunity to show their amazingness.
yeah, I know, and that sucks because the more they feel invisible and unseen, the more they fade to black and just become
Mm-hmm.
statistics.
Yep. Yep. Mm-mm-mm. And I hated that when she was on the team. They didn't get much recognition and stuff like that. And people didn't show up. They showed up for the boys basketball. You know, they make money off of them. So they able to make funds off the boys basketball. But I don't know. I wasn't happy about that. And that was a big reason why I got on the school board, because I felt like I have something to give. I need to do something for my
Hmm.
city. I got to do something for these kids. And there's so many kids that came through my house. I have 5 children. So, you know, they had friends, and
Yeah,
all these kids that came through my house. And it's like, these babies, some of them are struggling at home, big time. And it's just, you know, I had to do something. So I feel like, you know, we got a lot done, but there's still so much more to do.
yeah, I agree with that. Especially seeing as how I've seen a lot of it go wrong since I've been home this time, or the results of things that's been going wrong, I should say, because
Hmm.
none of this is
Hmm.
new, and we live in a culture where athletes are glorified more than students at the academics, and
Hmm.
then even
Hmm.
here in our own beautiful city of Benton Harbor, we see women is still treated as second class citizens, even amongst our own people. So,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
painful, but
It is. It really
it
is.
is because the minute they do something bad or they get caught with a boy or uh anything, like it's highlighted, like, but they don't get to support nor to push for doing something positive. So
Hmm. Hmm. And they say like they done took so much away from the kids. Like, what are they supposed to do? They have very little to do. So what do you expect them to do? Be in the streets and do
yeah,
what? When we have nothing, no outlets for them. The skating
we
rink
don't.
gone. I remember having arcades on Empire. I just there was so much more stuff to do. The teen center. The teen center isn't even open.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just they took so much, and we expect these kids to be able to go out in the world, and I don't like the word compete, because we shouldn't be competing. We should be
hmm,
collaborating. These kids don't have a fair opportunity to go out here and collaborate with other people because they just didn't get what they needed from the door. And I'm talking about from
yes,
home,
yes,
parents, drugs. I mean, all kind of stuff. Drinking, working, mama working 2, 3 jobs, and I mean, the father not there. You got all kind of scenarios and situations where we have young girls taking care of their siblings, and so they can't really do, grow and evolve because they playing mama, because they got to take care of the kids while the mama. It's just too much for these kids. It's too much. It's too much. They supposed to be being
yeah,
kids and developing and growing, not dealing with these big, huge traumas.
yeah. I agree because I was a byproduct of some of that, and it's worse now than when it was for me because now,
Mm.
as sad as it is, most of these adults don't even give the children a chance to show their worth.
Mhm.
And a lot of the people that don't even see them as worthy or deny them the chance to show their worth, they people that's working with, for, and around our children.
Ain't that
It's
crazy?
worse than crazy. Crazy is just a nice way to say it. Like it, it's an
Yeah.
open, blatant disregard for our human dignity because it's one thing for somebody who don't look like us to see us as human. But when your own people who look like you and know your parents see you as less than, that's some real deep seated pain.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It is. and Miss JV never came back in. So I'm gonna reach back out to her and see if she want to come back on Wednesday with Lovely and a couple other people. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
do.
And thanks so much for doing this. This is really good. This is a good thing. I see this um uh opening up some
Yes, ma'am.
doors, helping some folks, changing some things. I see it in a real positive
Thank
light,
you.
for the lack of
Yes,
better
ma'am. Thank
word.
you. I appreciate it. I'm actually waiting to get Miss Tiana Waddell on here also. I'm waiting.
Yes, she's so dope.
No,
Oh my God. I love her.
I haven't met her in person yet. Like we've been conversing, but I know um I grew up with my best friend and his one brother, and they're related to her. I think they uh
Hmm.
Nicholas Waddell and my homeboy JT Waddell. Nicholas referred me to her. Said it was his mom. I don't
Okay.
know if his stepmother, mother, auntie, they got the same last name. I didn't even get that far. Like me and her just been.
I think that's her son. She got
Yes,
two
ma'am. Yes,
boys. I can't
yes.
remember their names, but she
That's
got
what he
two
said.
boys. One a senior now, I
Okay.
think.
But we just been sharing posts, commenting, conversing about the podcast. We've been following and watching each other moves for a lack of better
I'm telling you, she come with that data. When she come with that
yes, ma'am.
info,
That's what
man,
I'm into. Like
y'all.
I'm into facts, numbers, data. Like I'm a numbers type of guy, so that's what I try to get into. Like I I need to. I should have went to school to be an investigative journalist or a private investigator or something.
Well, you can still go to
Yeah, I
school
know.
for that.
I'm dealing with the student loan debt thing right now, but oh,
Man, that's another thing. Now, how you gonna pass my student loan to somewhere else? You can't do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
They might as well drop all of
they
them.
should. They should. It is, but it's about time we did something for ourselves anyway. Like it's a lot of wicked stuff that's going on in the country right now. They taking more and more stuff from black people, but it's never been a better time outside of coming fresh out of slavery in that Reconstruction era when we were separated. Like it was it's about
Hmm.
time for us to start doing for ourselves anyway.
Yeah, and taking care
Yes,
of our
ma'am.
own.
Like
Yeah.
we spent 1.3 trillion within a 3 year time span. Like we produce everything we need. So you know what I'm saying we can produce everything we need. So but it's definitely time that we got back to doing and providing for us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's funny, but not funny. You know, people complaining about Trump, but
Man,
we've been living like this for how long? This ain't nothing for us. We can get right on
you
through
can.
this. We
You
can
can.
get through this. It's y'all butts that's all messed up because we've been living like that.
ah, yes, man, you're right. You definitely it's bittersweet, but it's still an opportunity for us to be our fullest selves. It is.
Hmm.
And I appreciate you for being on here tonight too, Miss Doyle. Like it's 100. I gotta get
All
you back
right.
on here again. So
Okay. And you know, another good, powerful sister, Elnora Gavin.
I heard about her. I heard about her.
You got to get her on here. She a numbers
Yes, ma'am.
person and all that. She run the history, get your timeline together, and really go
Yes,
down through
ma'am.
there.
Actually, I seen the
She's
film
a
of her.
big advocate.
Yes, I seen the film of her. I believe Miss Tiana Waddell shared something of her.
Did you see her live that she did just this
I
last
shared it.
week?
I shared it. Yep, yep. I shared it.
Yeah,
Shared it.
baby. I'm like, yes, that's my
Yeah,
girl
it's
right
beautiful. I
there.
love history. Like I'm not the best at it, but I love history and numbers. Like I can recall dates, times, some numbers, events. Because I believe in proving anything that come out my mouth. Like I can't. I refuse to have my credibility questioned, tainted, or just seen as a liar and hypocrite. I can't live like that.
Mm. Have you heard of Yes Fresh
No,
Start?
ma'am.
I need to send you the information. That's my platform. That's what I run on. That's what. uh, that's the dream that I would like to bring into fruition for Ben Harbor, and it's something that could be added to. You know, you feel like, oh, I think we should have this in our Black Wall Street. Okay, we can add that too. You know what I'm saying? It's like a living document. It's amazing. I'm gonna have to send you the video so you can see it. We're looking for fresh start
Yes, ma'am.
champions.
I appreciate it. I'll definitely jump on that. I have no hesitation about that. I'm with it.
Okay, I'll make sure I inbox you that
Right. Thank
information.
you. I appreciate it.
And definitely get Elle on so she can so y'all can talk. I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Well, you have a wonderful evening and thanks again. Have a wonderful evening on
Yes, ma'am.
purpose.
Likewise, you too. You just stay prolific. We need more of it. You got it. Just stay there because I can tell that lane you traveling in. There's very few people traveling with you or behind you. So thank you.
I'm telling you, man. It's like, oh my goodness, what? Okay, but yeah, it's that's a whole different thing. You think people with you, but they really
Mhm.
ain't. It's like, hold on. So yeah.
Yes, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, you're
Yes,
welcome.
ma'am.
Good
I
night.
appreciate everybody for listening and following too. The Humbly Prolific podcast. Like, share, comment, and the guest that was on here tonight, reach out to them. I'm pretty sure they got enough tentacles to reach and touch everybody. Y'all stay prolific.